Hey guys, Harry here, back again with another Bricklaying vlog. And today, we're on the boundary wall like we were from last video, but the last video I was running in the fat. What I mean by the fat is straight bits of the wall, easy bit of the wall. I was running in just a straight bit with a little pillar in it, well, like half the 18-inch pillar. And then now, this is a clip before, this is just a bit earlier in the day from last clip, and I was building the back side of the rack back. So obviously you can see I've racked back here an 18-inch pillar, and we've got obviously a 9-inch wall tied in, and I'm just showing you how I build these walls. A lot of the time, especially when I'm on my own, dead solo, I always just build big pillar corners, I call them. So like the pillar tied in to the wall, bonded in, and it's just bricks through the middle. So you get a couple of free bricks that you plop in. I call them free bricks because you're just literally placing them in the middle of the pillar. So that's nice. That's one of the slight, to offset all the plumb points, you get a slight bonus by getting obviously basically 2 bricks inside of each skin of the pillar, each course of the pillar. And then obviously to take away the amount of plumb points, I build it in 2 halves. So imagine taking an Easter egg and splitting it in half, and just building one half and just making one half of the Easter egg at once and sticking them both together. That's how I build these 18-inch pillars. They look a bit intimidating for any newcomers to who've just been laying straight boxes or more affordable housing. It might look a bit intimidating. You've got to plumb all 8 sides of this pillar, and because there's 2 plumb points each side, times that by 4, so that's 8 plumb points per pillar. But by racking it back how I do, you've only got 3 to 4, mainly 3 plumb points /4 plumb points if you depending on what part of the pillar you're at. And this what I'm doing here, filling in the back side of the rack back. So I've already racked back half a pillar on my my back lead side, which I've run out, which I've already run out so many course. But I always find building the corner to that rack back is a lot faster than obviously doing your first rack back and doing your first half. So hopefully you can see from the footage what I'm on about. I'll change the camera angle a bit closer periodically through this video, mainly because, and I don't mean to cut the video too much, but it's because a lot of people, about six guys walked in the frame, so I've got to cut them out. I can't be filming guys on site who don't want to be filmed, and they just pass us by. You can't be filming everyone, so that's why I do all the cuts in my videos. I'm using the Magnuson levels, obviously, which I did a review on, and I've used them extensively for I've used the 4-foot one extensively for the past week or so. And I've got to say the tolerances on them are really generous. It's probably got, it's probably 5 mil out of a 6-foot level. It's got about 2 or 3 mil tolerance, over the span of a 6-foot level when it comes to the plumb and the bubbles, and maybe even up to 5 mil in some respects. So I'm only going to be using them for setting out basically boundary walls and getting just a bit of a bigger, a bit of a better reading on block work for big stuff. I'm probably going to convert to the ox levels at some point, but these were just the standing really. I've already ordered a 4-foot ox level, and I know they do a set of ox levels, 4-foot, 6-foot and 2-foot. But from what I can see, it's cheaper buying them separately, to be quite honest. I've had a look, and some of the deals on Amazon, it was like 170 quid for all 4 levels, but I got the 4-foot for 35 quid. So if I can get the 6-foot for, say 55, that's only 90 quid. And then you're telling me you can't get a 2-foot for less than 25 quid. So it's sometimes getting the sets sometimes it can rip you off when they give you a level bag and a set. Who uses a level bag? I've got one before and they're fucking useless. It's right awkward getting them in. So anyway, so as you can see here, obviously because I've already got you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 of my plumb points already taken up by the rack back. I'm only having to plumb, you know, 4 plumb points each side, and I obviously use the 2 foot level for work that gets to about, I use the 2 foot level all the way until it gets to about 2.5, 3 foot, and then I convert to the 4 foot level. Obviously, a lot of guys don't believe in using these little levels for plumb work. It gives you a different reading. If you're using the same maker level, it's fine. It's if you have like different makes levels, or you know, levels that are like one's really old and getting a bit knackered, and then one that's brand new. You need to be sort of using all the same, you know, strength of levels in a sense. You know, you need to be using all the same type of levels with the same tolerances. Obviously, I'm just using these standing Magnusons at the moment. I've got that ox coming, that 1200 ox, 4 foot, you know, whatever unit of measurement you're working, coming on Sunday. I've got Prime, so luckily I only went for the one. It was luckily I got a good deal at like £34 for that Ox Pro series. And to be honest, I've used their hammers, and their ox hammers are fucking fantastic. And my mate uses their ox trowel, and he says the trowels are really good, which I was gonna actually get an ox trowel, but then I went back to Marshalltown. So it's something that, you know, I think a lot of the ox tools are really good. So it's, you know, they're up there with, you know, your Stanley and your you know, I think they're just as good as, you know, Stanley and Marshalltown and stuff like that. Ox, Australian company. So well, that's about it when it comes to these pillars. You can see how I'm building them, you know. I tend to actually, I tell you what, there's a couple of things that obviously, you know, all sites, if you lay in a frog brick, or I like to call these ones heritage style, you know, they all want to be frog up, but I sometimes, depending on how, you know, how the mortar is and stuff, I like to put the brick that connects the two you know, the two, I always build, obviously, the 2 outer bricks of the pillar, you know, my two outside bricks of the pillar, and then I plop in, you know, that middle connected brick. And I always do that one frog down when there's a brick either side, just so the mortar has somewhere to go, and then it doesn't push each side of my you know, my 2 bricks I've already plumbed on the outside of the pillar out. And then the same with the inside bricks. Sometimes I put them frog up, sometimes I put them frog down, depending if they're like rising above the rest of the bricks. And as well, you can leave your joints a little bit empty, so there's a bit of room to move with the pillars. That's another thing. You know, a lot of people, if your tutor's any good at college, he'll tell you that. And yeah, that's one of the main things. I'd say building these pillars frog up is a lot easier than building them frog down. You've got a bit more control. It just gets time getting used to laying frog up. Obviously, I always laid frog down for years, and now in the last year I've been laying frog up, and it's been one of the best sort of things that I've enjoyed. That's basically, you know, improved my work capacity and stuff by having a bit more control over my work, a bit more methodical. I do the same in walls. If I'm ever getting to the last brick, sometimes doing pick and dip, I just lay the last one frog down, and it's, you know, a little bit easier to slide in this hot weather when the mortar's pretty stiff. So I'm back on the footings Monday officially. I had the groundwork supervisor come over. The main lad who I get on with, who I know and get on with, he's back on Monday, so I'll be chatting to him, just quizzing him over a few things that obviously I need to know, which obviously a bit of a refresher, which I haven't done because I haven't done footings in ages. But what I can see is the really deep footings. A lot of course of the super trench blocks, the big, I forgot the fucking size of them, but like a 440 by fucking 225 super Celcom trench. They're not the interlocking ones. They're just like standard one you put a normal mortar joint on. I'm sure the 225 deep by 440 long by 440 wide, I like to say. I think they're the ones. I don't know what I'm getting per block, and I'm gonna inquire, make sure I'm not getting any less than 180. Ideally, you want like £2 a block on them, but you know, because there's so many of them, and I've got an apprentice with me on Monday. They're giving me apprentice for free, so like, that's a bit of a bonus, so I'll not quibble too much over the prices if I'm getting an extra pair of hands for nothing. So when it comes to I'm going to load out for them. I'm going to knock a couple more tables up this weekend. I've got 3 at the moment. I've got 2 more cut that were meant to be for my mate, but I've got loads more lats, so I've got plenty for him. And my dad doesn't need the saw anymore, so I'm going to cut him some more wood, and I'm going to knock up about 3 or 4 tables this weekend, since the weather's well hot and I don't think I want to be digging my trench in this weather. Knock up a few tables. I might go out in a minute and make them, actually. After I've recorded a few of these videos, I'm going to make a couple more tables. And then we might even bring gazebo. With weather being so hot, we're going to need a sunshade, because if we're having apprentice wheels, my old man's going to be loading up blocks steady away. Probably have apprentice with me spreading, filling mortarboards, and then get him spreading gobbo, and I'll just be buttering every block as it's on wall, and then sliding the block in, because I'm wanting all the internals pointing, so all trench block that you can see on the inside from just looking at it, they want that pointing, and the outside. Obviously back at bricks don't get pointed, but all your split work and your 4-inch on inside, that all needs pointing, which I'm not too fussed about, because I've got the old man with me, so that'll be his job. He's got one of them big super fat Marshall towns. He's going to be stroking out joints. I'm going to be laying majority traditional, I think, because obviously there'll be a lot of block work, and then I think this Staffordshire Blues, so which I'm quite relieved about, to be honest, because although them blue bricks are an absolute nightmare to lay when it's fucking wet, sort of any other type of weather other than scorching, when it's really hot weather, them blues are like a lifesaver. They make it the ease of pointing, so I'll probably have young lads spreading for me, and I'll be just sliding them in pick and dip style, and then once I get to where we need to be jointing, I'll just probably have young lad flushing back at bricks up, making sure all the joints are all flushed up everywhere, and then old man will probably follow him around pointing, or a lot of the morning it'll be me probably studying drawings. I was going to get him before I left on Friday, but he will I want that arse, to be honest, because apparently footing's a bit of an inaccessible location, so I'll just be probably waiting for gear and then studying drawings, probably setting all my boards up and whatnot, and then just building corners while they all get loaded out. I'm not going to bother with profiles, even though the footings are big enough to accommodate profiles. I'll probably just build a corner. A lot of the time, the reason I do build corners is just for ease of, the people I'm working with. I ain't got stuff loaded out in front a lot of the time. I'm flat starting, so I could bang a couple of corners up, or bang one corner in a dead man, and then keep running in like one flank down with some trench or whatever. And by the time I'll have done that, they'll start loading up, and I could get another couple of corners built, and just dot all my trench on the pins, and away we go. But I'll be doing more footing videos next week, and obviously you can see another clip of me here running. I'm just elongating the video a bit here because we run out of corner building footage. I'll talk a bit more about the profile setup I used on this wall tomorrow next video, and I'm going to make some more videos after this anyway. But yeah, I'll be recording a bit in the footings. I'm only doing one, I think, because it's just one I'm helping them out with. But by the sounds of it, they're not able to get enough brickies, so I'll probably have to maybe do another one at some point. So if this first one goes well, and I've got a funny feeling with the weather it will, because obviously good weather, good weather, these prices these days, you can't really go wrong. It doesn't matter what really work you're doing, especially with, I've got to get out of my head as well that I'm only building footing. I'm not building the superstructure of the house, because the houses, the footings that on this site, a lot of them are the blues and rendered house. But I've got to keep remembering that I'm not building the superstructure. That's what I always fucking envision when I look at it. I'm building this. The footings are just square boxes. They're just, a lot of these blues and block render, they're all square box houses, or they're all, you know, pairs of square boxes, or, you know, 4 plots of square boxes. So what I forget a lot of the time in the footings, it's just straight brickwork. You know, your air vents in if it's block and beams, which I think they are. I think they're all block and beam. And then on your inside, you've just got your 4-inch block, or depending on how they work, it's either splits and commons, and, you know, whatever it works. They're pretty dead easy. Look, from what I've had a look at, they all seem just straightforward fucking houses. There's not many dog legs in them at all, which on the heritage side of this site, which I've been obviously doing all these walls on, there is a lot of dog legs in footings, which makes them a bit of a ball ache when you get to the front. But on the rendered plots, rendered and blues, they're all straight. So I keep forgetting that. I keep looking at floor to ceiling windows on these big blue and block render houses, thinking, oh, they look a ball ache. But building the footings would be a different story. It's a lot. You know, that's why a lot of the guys build them, because it's just straight box runs. So I'll have a bit more of an I'll have a bit more of an assessment whether I need to use profiles. But with having an apprentice with me, you know, I can just build a couple of corner. You build a corner, drop a couple of dead mans on, and, you know, he can be just running in or spreading or whatever he feels comfortable doing. Because you know, whenever I've got an apprentice with me, I like to get them on trial straight away. And if they're not very, you know, confident laying blocks or bricks, you know, even spreading, just getting them some trowel time, you know, spreading mortar about, getting used to handling it. A lot of time, especially at pick and dip, I just convert to a long spread variant. So, especially with these blue bricks, it's ideal to get a nice big long spread out. Gobbo don't need to be too wet, but it doesn't need to be wet enough so it won't go off. Nice big long spread. And it's black stuff as well when you want blue, so it tends to not go off as quick, which is nice. And then you just get a big long spread out, and I'll just slot them into place. And we're gonna try and get the loading up done to where we're just stacking as bricks on as trench that we've already laid. But there's that much trench block in them, you know. We'll be on trench block for a day or so. Because from one of them they had like fucking 5 or 6 course of trench in footing, probably more. So I'm gonna have to have a look at the drawing to see the heights, because luckily on this site the site engineer's a pretty nice sound bloke. Because I was chatting to him a couple of times when I was setting a few walls out, and he sprays on all your measurements every corner. This is what they told me they do. Whether he's done it or not is a different story, but they spray all your measurements on, so I ain't got to get laser level out. Or try find one on site and check all my corners, and hopefully he's sprayed plus or minus, you know, the plus or minus 10 of, you know, sometimes they put like, you know, the measurement then plus 10 mil if the concrete's 10 mil low at that corner, or they'll put say the footings are 1500, they might put 1500 plus 10 mil in brackets of one corner, and then they might put 1500 plus 22 mil another corner if the concrete's out. But hopefully, you know, hopefully should I say, I haven't had a look, it won't be hopefully he's done that for me on each corner, or he's written it down on a drawing, even easier. A lot of times they don't do that. Firms will make you check yourself, but hopefully from what I've seen, I ain't seen any at Bricky's pick a laser level up at all. So it seems to be the site engineer seems to be right on it, so that makes your life a lot easier in footings. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll obviously see me running in brickwork in this footage, so I'll talk a bit more about it in next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be looking forward to be doing a bit of different type of work. Fucking for once, it'd be nice to build something different. Even though these walls, I earn some fucking really good money on them. You know, it's always nice to try something else for a bit, you know, even if it's for only a week, and then back to walls. Lovely. All right then, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video.